Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Everyday English, the podcast that helps you navigate daily life in English.
Hey there, welcome to Everyday English.
I'm your host, Benji.
And I'm Luna. It's so good to be here for episode 13. Today, we're talking about a topic that almost everyone can relate to, coworkers.
That's right. If you have a job, you probably have coworkers, also known as colleagues. These are the people you work with every day.
Exactly. And your relationship with your coworkers can make a huge difference in how much you enjoy your job. We'll be talking about the good, the bad, and how to handle both.
Let's start with the positive. Luna, what do you think makes a great coworker?
Oh, that's a great question. For me, the number one quality is being supportive. A supportive coworker is someone who helps you when you're struggling and celebrates with you when you succeed.
Right. Someone who is a real team player. They understand that when the team wins, everyone wins.
Yes, I once had a coworker named Sarah. If I had a difficult project, she would always offer to help, even if it was just by listening to my ideas. She never saw it as a competition.
That's amazing. Having someone like that can completely change your workday. Another thing I think is important is reliability.
Reliability. You mean someone you can trust to do what they say they will do.
Exactly. A reliable coworker meets their deadlines and does their fair share of the work. You don't have to worry about them or check up on them all the time.
That's so important for reducing stress at work. When everyone pulls their weight, another great idiom meaning they do their part, the whole team can move forward smoothly.
Definitely. I'd also add a good communicator to the list, someone who shares important information clearly and listens to others' opinions.
Oh, communication is key. Bad communication can cause so many problems and misunderstandings.
It really can. So, a great coworker is supportive, reliable, and a good communicator. They're basically a positive force in the workplace.
A perfect summary. If you have coworkers like that, you are very lucky. Make sure you appreciate them.
For sure. But, of course, not all coworkers are so wonderful. Now we have to talk about the other side of the coin, difficult coworkers.
Right. This can be a very challenging situation. What are some common types of difficult coworkers you can think of?
I think one of the most common is the negative coworker. This is the person who complains about everything. The boss, the projects, the coffee in the break room, everything.
Yes, their negativity can be really draining. It can pull down the energy of the entire team if you let it.
Another type is the one who doesn't pull their weight, the opposite of the reliable coworker we just talked about. They might be lazy or just avoid responsibility.
That's really frustrating because then other people have to do extra work to make up for it.
It is. And one more I can think of is the coworker who loves gossip. Gossip is when people talk about other people's private lives, usually in a negative way.
Right. A workplace with a lot of gossip can feel very toxic and untrustworthy. It's not a healthy environment.
So we have the negative coworker, the lazy one, and the gossip. These are definitely challenging personalities to work with. So Luna, the big question is, what do you do? How do you deal with a difficult coworker?
This is where it gets tricky. I think the first and most important role is to stay professional.
Stay professional, meaning you don't get angry or rude, you continue to do your job well.
Exactly. Don't sink to their level. For example, with a negative coworker, you don't have to agree with their complaints. You can just listen for a moment and then say something neutral like, "I see," and then change the subject back to work.
That's a good strategy. You're not being rude, but you're also not encouraging the negativity. You're creating a boundary.
Yes, setting boundaries is very important. The same goes for the coworker who gossips. If they start telling you a story about someone else, you can politely say, "I'm sorry, but I'm not comfortable talking about our colleagues like that. Anyway, about that report."
That's direct, but professional. It sends a clear message. Now, what about the coworker who isn't doing their work? That one directly affects your own job sometimes.
That one is tougher. The first step might be to have a calm, private conversation with them. You could say, "Hey, I was waiting on your part of the project to finish my part. Can you let me know when you think you'll have it done?"
So you're focusing on the task, not attacking them as a person. You're not saying you're lazy, you're saying, I need this to do my job.
Precisely. You're focusing on the facts. Sometimes this is enough to solve the problem. But if the behavior continues and it's seriously impacting your work, you may need to speak to your manager or boss.
That's the last resort, the final option. And if you do, it's important to have specific examples. Don't just say, he never does his work. Instead say, last Tuesday, I couldn't complete my task because I was waiting on his data, which was due on Monday.
Yes, be factual, not emotional. The goal is to solve a work problem, not to start a fight.
So to summarize our advice for difficult coworkers, stay professional, set boundaries, communicate directly and calmly, and if needed, talk to your manager with specific examples.
That's a fantastic summary. It's all about protecting your own peace and your ability to do your job well. You can't control other people's behavior, but you can control your reaction to it.
A very wise point, Luna. Well, this has been a really practical and important conversation. I hope our listeners have found it helpful for their own work lives.
Me too. Remember, having good coworkers is a gift, and learning to handle difficult ones is a skill. Both are a normal part of having a job.
We'll be back next time with another topic to help you with your English. Until then, take care and have a great week at work.
Bye for now.